I'm back. Yes, it's been a couple weeks since I did a video, but that's okay. Like July, August, they are super busy months for me, and it's just about to die down after my daughter's birthday this weekend. So I'm super excited because I get a little break in between before the commotion, the holiday commotion, right? Which I don't celebrate or participate in pagan holidays, but still, it's traffic, commotion, my clients, whatever. Yeah. So, anyway, I was yesterday years old when I realized that 99.99999999999% of friends that I've ever had, and let me just say this, I don't consider myself to have had a lot of friends, right? But all of the friends that I have had, except for two individuals, one who is no longer with us, has been through trauma, right? Meaning they were always meant to be intentional unless we were on a plane of leveling up, right? So they were never meant to be long term. We bonded over trauma. We came into each other's lives. We bonded and was able to support each other through whatever circumstances we were enduring, and that is it. But I had realized after a long time, and I will say since the age of 28, since I had my third baby, my life completely did a 180. I was no longer interested in clubbing, running the streets, doing the things that I did prior to the decade before, literally the entire decade before. Like, I was no longer interested in that. I had a new issue, which was my weight. Now I'm fighting obesity, something that was new to me. I never dealt with that before. So when you have new problems, it kind of changes the way you look at things, especially when the trauma friends, which I'm going to get into that, the trauma friends that you had previously cannot relate to. All of my friends were, for the most part, small. They looked fit. They looked like they were in shape. And a little bit they was. Like, we got a lot of movement in dancing on the club floor. So, it was a couple in the army. So yeah. But 28, I don't know, like I had a shift in what it was that I wanted out of life. I wasn't just going through the motions. At certain ages in your 20s, you're literally just going through the motions. And sometimes you're making decisions, unclear decisions, of life, or just because. And I don't know, it was just a huge shift in my mind. I didn't know what the change was going to be. And fast forward, here I am, a fitness trainer, et cetera, et cetera. I never knew through the big issue that I had with myself that it would create a passion with my weight loss journey to becoming a certified trainer. So this is not about that. As I'm about to dive into trauma bonding, let me give you a good example. And I was so excited when I realized this yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday, that I hopped on the phone. I called my sister and I was like, oh my gosh, like, girl, I can't believe it. Like, no wonder I was feeling like how I was feeling, da 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 da. So yes, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I always feel a little guilty because people from my past, although I realized that we were trauma friends, like, there's no love lost there. I realized that I'm just on a constant level, a constant plane of maturing, elevating, and being the bestest version I can be of myself. And I understand that a lot of times people don't know how to be there, to be that way, or they only see me in one light. So it's kind of hard for them to really look and, I guess, have respect. Like, what? I can't even, but I can tell you right now, like, if you guys are watching or whatever, you can't even identify me. And that's a wonderful thing. Like, I have so much peace, so much love, so much gratitude for where I am and where I am going. And I honestly, at some point, pray that you are able to get to this point. So let's jump into it. Trauma bonding. So if you all don't know, and my mother watches this sometimes. Unfortunately, we are at a space where we don't talk. We haven't spoken to each other for years. I am content with that for right now until God shifts her, right? So it's just a matter of waiting and expectancy. I am waiting in expectancy, positive expectancy. Let me say that. Coming from a childhood where I guess since the day I was born, I watched my parents struggle with violence and I watched my parents struggle with drug addiction, both of them. And I really don't talk about that. But I remember sitting in schools and there were people who would come and speak to us, and they would have convicts come, and then they would have some nice ladies come in, and they would always talk about, if you're getting touched at your home, if you're getting molested, if you've been raped or whatever, raise your hand, or we want to help you, da 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 da. And let me tell you, every time in every meeting that I sat in, I cried without people seeing that I cried, because I should have had my hand up every single time. I should have had my hand up every single time. I'm not going to cry, but it just, I knew the last time. And I told myself, and I said, God, what if this is the last time that I ever get this opportunity? And this has been going on for years if I don't raise my hand. But something inside of me kept on saying, like, this is the end. No, there won't be any more speakers in your future. If you don't raise your hand now, that's it. But you become so accustomed to traumas. And it's like, I've been doing it for this long. I'ma just wait it out. It'll get better. It didn't. It never got better. I'll say that. It never got better. We moved, and I think I just had a new abuser. You know what I mean? It was just like that. I just had a new abuser, and I kept quiet. And that's just what it is. With that being said, I had a lot of drug dealers in and out of my home, especially living with my mother. When it was a 2-parent home, not at all, but living with my mother, there were so many drug dealers in and out my home all the time. But prior to that, I had already had instilled in me, you handle everything with violence, regardless of what they said. My mother came from a nursing background. My father came from a military background. They always try to teach us the best. Okay, I take nothing away from them. It's just that they weren't the walking and living example of what it is that they wanted for us. Okay. Now, because of that, I would attract other females, other guys like me, other people who were getting abused. My parents did not abuse me. Other people who were being abused, who were sexually abused, who had drug dealers in and out their homes all the time, people who were kicked out. Like, my mother would kick me out the home all the time. Okay, no matter what I had on, I would be kicked out all the time, because she wanted some cigarettes, or, you know, she was coming off of a binge. So, you know, this is what you deal with. And you don't get to talk about this to people, because people don't understand, and they judge you, and they judge your parents, etc., etc. When no, people just need help and support. And so other children in the neighborhood, because I was a loner, naturally, I'm comfortable with being by myself. I don't mind. I never feel lonely or anything like that. I was very private. I didn't want to ever feel like a charity case. And it's not like my parents were broke. They were, because they had jobs, employment, careers that made great money. We were broken in and out of shelters because they chose to give drug dealers their money. That's just what it was, right? Thank God my father is sober and healthy and living great, has money, etc. So I do want to make sure I highlight and commend his sobriety, because I'm so happy to see the peace unfold in his life. Now, so I was realizing that every friend that I had when I sat down to do some reflection, I made over trauma. I made friends over trauma where we had in common that our parents were addicted to drugs. I had friends who had deadbeat baby daddies, and I was attracting these people into my bubble, right? So they would be, we would sit up and conversate about how he doesn't pay child support, how he doesn't ever want to call, he doesn't want to spend time with this child, how, all the relationship issues and lies we were told. Like, we would sit and we were literally bond. We felt closer about this. And then over the weekend, after we built up and talked about and magnified all of this frustration and stress in our lives, we'd be like, okay, girl, we about to get up and we're about to go to the club and we're gonna do our thing. And this was a cycle. Okay, this was every day, every other day. This was a cycle that we created in our lives. But I noticed that our friendships after a certain age was a little bit on the strain side. Okay, it was getting strenuous as I was getting older. By the time I hit 28, I was getting a shift. I had new problems. I was the only one out of my friend group who had 3 kids. So my friends couldn't understand that type of responsibility. I was the only one who, at that time had a partner who was in the industry and who was trying to, get to the next level. So shows on top of me trying to do being a new mom and trying to lose weight and all of these things that I had going on, being a mom of 3, it was just, I felt so overwhelmed. And I started to see a shift in my life because I noticed that how I'm feeling at 28, and I've been doing this for a decade. I've been living, partying, drinking, doing all types of things for the last 10 years. Like, I don't really like the products of what I have produced this far. Like, I don't like what I've manifested in my life. This has done nothing but given me heartache. Like, I didn't make the right choices when it came to partnership. I didn't do it in the right order. I realized when you do things out of order, it feels like a burden. For instance, like I said, I had a child at 18. Now, just because I had a child at 18, I wasn't in school. I had my own place, my own car, but at the end of the day, I did things out of order. So for a long time, that child felt like a burden to me, not because of him, but because I did things out of order, right? You get to know somebody, you get married, you have the baby. That is the order. So anyway, and I did this. So I'm not amazed at the results that were produced in between time, because this is what you did and you know better. Your parents was married, you knew better. And with that said, like, I was trauma bonding with individuals over a lot of things. So now for the last 8 years, I'm 36. I just turned 36. Happy birthday to me. Happy belated birthday to me. Yes. I just realized, hey, you were trauma bonding with women and you really haven't made not one friend since 28, not since your shift, not since you decided that you wanted more. But I had to decide I wanted more. And with that decision, that created distance in all of those relationships, not fights or anything that happened. I mean, there was some, strenuous things that happened and a couple of things, but, it wasn't like we fell off during, some bad terms or whatever. Distance, God was creating distance because I had a shift in my mindset. And although I didn't know where I was going, I felt like change was needed in order for me to get a clearer and a better decision on what it was that I wanted. I needed to separate myself from what it was I didn't want. And see, from those group of friends, there was always a lot of drama, always a lot of clubbing, drinking, drugging, fighting, literally re-mirrored the same thing that I seen with my parents that I literally said I would not do in my adulthood, but I wound up doing it all the way up until the age of 28. So a lot of people blame things on their parents, but then you wind up blindly repeating the same cycle, thinking you're going to reinvent the wheel, thinking you're going to do it better. Do the same thing but better. And baby, you're only fooling yourself. So with that being said, I'm I am taking new friend applications. Yup. No. Yeah. Yes and no. But seriously, like, watch who has access to you where you are. Because a lot of women, my consultations are open for the last quarter of this year for those of you who are wanting to reach your body goals. However, a lot of you have not created that shift that you need in your mindset. So you're still trying to figure out why you haven't been able to lose weight and keep the weight off. But you get on the phone with your girlfriend, who's probably been your girlfriend for the last 15 years. You've had these plans, both of you, from doing this partner plan and doing, living your best life, your body, blah, blah, blah. But you've never been able to get there and build the consistency because you have friends who are on an old plane. They're on an old level that you are no longer on. And see, you're looking down, not even realizing that you're looking down and hoping that they catch up, that they want what you want, that they desire what you desire, but that's not their path, right? And everybody changes and they grow at their own rate when they choose to. When they choose to. Not time will tell, when they tell themselves, I want more, I want better. And you have to consciously and intentionally leave those circles, because that's the only way I was able to not to ever live in a shelter, not to continue to have those talks about a deadbeat. I don't want to. Why would I be talking about something I don't want in my life? Like, I feel like we have so many conversations about the things that we don't want. We have so many conversations in the opposite direction of where we want our life to go. And we sit here and we act shocked when we are not bringing it into the 3D reality of what it is that we want to see in our lives, right? We are literally shocked. Even family members, you will have to cut ties. If you're thinking you want to be here and you are looking down at the other people who still want to club, they still want to drug, they still want to coexist with other people about trauma, and they still want to have this victim mindset, it's not going to serve you. You're not going to be able to ever reach your goals. You're not going to ever have the mindset, the peace that you want internally to see those things manifest into your 3D reality. So I'm telling you guys right now, and this conversation is for my future clients, right? Because I have goals every month, how many people I want to sign, where the shifts that we are going to make, not only body, physical, but in our mindset, right? Financially. And in order to do that, you have to seek out people who are going in the direction you would like to go, who are living the life you want to live. And a lot of times you're not going to get that from your circle. They know you one way. And when you start to shift, when you start to change, they don't know how to receive you. Okay. Nothing against them. I have it. Like, I don't talk to anyone from my past. They don't know how to receive you. So they're going to sit and watch. I have them. They watch me all the time. They don't like, they don't engage, they don't participate. They don't do anything, but they are out there watching me take action every day. And I couldn't imagine how that would make me feel. Watching someone do what I want to do, watching things manifest and come to be in their lives, and I just can't stop thinking or talking about this bum. I can't stop complaining about this job I don't want. You can have any job you want. So go down your timeline, go through your phone, start erasing, start creating the distance you need to open the room to receive the things you want to receive. That's it. That's what this message is about. Now, if you found this video helpful, please leave me some comments below. Let me know your story. If you can relate, share, comment, like, okay? All of these things come back to you. Bye-bye.